It's verse 22 of the 21st chapter of the Gospel of Matthew. Jesus has just been instructing his disciples that just as the fig tree had been withered up as a result of the command of Jesus, and of course the disciples were astonished to see it taking place so rapidly, he gives them assurance that they can also make such requests to him, to God, especially referring to this mountain. And of course the mountain he was looking at was the Temple Mount there in Jerusalem, from which the most ferocious persecution of the disciples would emanate. And so he's given them assurance that they could even say to this mountain, metaphorically in some ways, be cast into the sea. And certainly that's what ensuing history tended to prove to be the case. He continues, broadening the scope of his instruction here. Kai, the connective, panta, and the accusative. This is the neuter adjective, means all. All things here in the neuter, it's the object of the verb aiteseta, which means to ask. Aiteo means to ask, usually applied to an inferior asking of a superior, which certainly would be appropriate here. So all things that you ask. Hosa, the relative pronoun with on from eon, whatsoever is the idea. So it's very expansive, that all things whatsoever you ask. En preposition with the dative te prosuke in the prayer. The presence of the article there adds a little bit of solemnity to this, as if to suggest that these are prayers that may have a slightly more formal aspect to them. That's certainly speculative, but the article would tend to suggest something moving in that direction. So all things that you ask in the prayer, maybe restricting it more to formal prayers, in the church, prayers in which the entire congregation has been brought together, or at least some of them. All of that might be implied. I don't want to read too much into it, but that article is interesting there. All things that you ask in prayer, pistuontes, present participle, believing. So it's believing prayer. This would rule out, of course, flippant prayers, frivolous prayers that may be posed to God, but of course they can't come with a full heart of conviction, of assurance, which is implied by the presence of the word pistuontes. So you come believing. Lampsista. This is from lambano, future. It's the second person plural, future, active indicative. You will receive. So it's a great assurance, of course, to God's people as they're engaged in the variety of things they'll be doing, and especially when they're facing persecution, which is the precise subject under discussion, or at least impliedly under discussion here, that there is help that's available, readily available, as we come asking in faith and confidence to God concerning these things.